Welcome back to KickBack. My name is Ben Strasser, and we are proudly presented by CMHA, Brant Haldeman, Norfolk, and I am now joined by my Aunt Kirsten. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, I would do anything for you, Ben. You're the best. And it's great to be able to talk about something I know a lot about.
Right, and I just really appreciate you taking the time and reaching out and putting your hand up and saying, hey, this is something that I would like to help you with.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
do that. So let's jump in. You wanted to share about yourself as having your own mental health diagnoses while also navigating children that are experiencing similar things.
Yeah, I feel like there's a book in here or a blog or a website or something, but in 2003, I was diagnosed with a major depressive disorder and anxiety, and so I've been medicated since then for that. And as an adult, I found out that I was diagnosed with ADHD. So I have lots going on, and every day I wake up caffeinated and medicated, and now regulated, because I know what I'm dealing with. But on top of that, I have 2 kids on the spectrum. They both have ADHD. They both have anxiety diagnosis, and my daughter, she grapples with OCD and depression episodes. So we have a lot going on, and I just thought, oh, there's something I could probably share about this.
Right.
Yeah. It's like somebody with all these challenges leading a household with a bunch of challenges, and you got to deal with it with a smile.
Right. Yeah. I know, like for me, seeing myself in like Theo.
Yes.
And being able to see myself in him and like seeing the traits. What's that like seeing these things pop up in like Casey and Nolan?
Well, the hilarious thing is I did not see the ADHD. Now that I'm aware of these things, I do see them. But I think the funniest part about how I got diagnosed was both my kids have amazing psychologists, and we found out with my son that him meeting with his psychologist, Christy, from time to time was really helpful. But what made more of a difference was parenting coaching sessions. So I would meet with her monthly and implement some of the strategies to support my son. And then one day I joked because I was supposed to be filling out this form to submit a form to CRA for disability tax credit refund. And it took me 8 months and I still hadn't had it done. And I laughed. I said, I'm probably the one with ADHD. And she says, oh, well, maybe it's something you could look into. And she handled it very well as a professional, because you can't just go around diagnosing people at a distance. But I was like, oh, yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, now that I have that, it is very helpful, because I can start to see if the kids get dysregulated, because I can understand what that feels like. I can recognize it and help them co-regulate quickly. And like listen to me with all these terms that I've learned over the year: regulation, co-regulation. A lot of the strategies that are their default are what they call in the biz maladaptive, not helpful. And I kind of help them course correct, because I've had to learn myself how to do it.
Right, and I think that's how awesome that is, to be able to have that experience, to then be able to, like, how did that shape how you show up for them?
Oh, it shapes it a lot. I've had, like, everybody's instincts sort of kick in, and when you see one of your kids starting to spiral, because the poor guys are dealing with anxiety and a brain that doesn't have good executive function on its own. And so you see that spiraling, and they just kind of want to lash out, and even worse if they haven't eaten or if they're tired. Like, it just gets big and messy. And so as a parent, you just want to say, it's okay, calm down, like, it's going to be okay. And I learned, like, that's not the best way to respond. And so I've been able to learn for myself and for my kids who are still learning these things, that there's a whole technique where you can actually just validate how they're feeling and say, oh, this is hard, this is really rough. And so doing those sort of validating exercises, it's transformed how I react to them, to the point where I thought I had to kind of look natural while I'm doing it. I don't. I've had my daughter say to me, can you just please do that formula thing that you do? So it's been amazing. It's a bit of a game changer. Yeah.
And how does that change, like, for you, being able to look back and see, like, oh, I was dealing with this? What's that been like?
It's been good, and it's been sort of sad. You go through a bit of grief. I've always been somebody who got promoted into leadership positions at work, But then I felt like I was dropping the ball all the time. And every morning I'm like, why have I still have a job here? Like, when are they going to notice that I'm terrible at my job? And so it's sad thinking, there are so many years that I could have been medicated so that I could quiet the noise and stay focused in meetings and be able to initiate tasks without a whole problem. And I really wish that there would have been a way to identify this sooner. But what I've also learned is that a lot of women, they don't get diagnosed with ADHD until much later in life because we're sort of taught in society to mask and cover these things up. And I guess I was able to do it with some success.
Right.
So I wish I could have made some changes back then. But on the other hand, maybe this was the right time to learn this about myself when I have kids, and it's really important to help them. And it's an amazing time where you're doing things like this to help break the stigma and help people just normalize conversations and feel good about talking about the way you are.
Right. Well, I think that there's still so much stigma or negativity around mental health in all aspects of it that it's important to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful to have like yourself, to have Nolan and Casey both come on and share what they have been dealing with and what that's like, and to hear Nolan vocalize what he navigates with his anxiety and ADHD. Like these conversations are so important to have because even if you hadn't have been yourself by goofing around that you're like, oh, maybe I have ADHD or something like that, you wouldn't have gotten to that point of being able to understand and gaining those skills to then be able to help them.
Well, and it's interesting too. Tell me if I'm getting off on a tangent, but for years and years, my doctors thought that it was anxiety that I was dealing with. And I remember the look on my doctor's face when he said to me, I actually think I've had it wrong this whole time. I think you've had ADHD, and one of those comorbidities, I think they call them, is anxiety. It wasn't the anxiety first, it was the ADHD, and that's so interesting too. And you wonder how many people have had it that way. And not that anxiety is a bad thing. You do need to treat it and take care of it, but so interesting. You kind of have to advocate for yourself. And I just remember coming back to him saying, could we have a conversation about whether I maybe have ADHD? And I'm so happy that he was open to this, because he was surprised too. It was great.
Well, and I think it's important. That's a huge point. You have to self-advocate in those situations, right, and speak up. And I feel so many people, like these individuals that have gone to school to become doctors, they're obviously that for a reason. But there's so many different avenues or ways of why people are the way that they are. To have that self-advocation, to be able to kind of break the noise or break the cycle where that doctor is maybe thinking one way because you think, right, and like to be able to do that, shake them up a bit or her up a bit, and then, oh, you know what, that is a possibility that's something. Yeah,
and I think doctors are more and more open to that now. I've heard of people having experiences where they've tried to say, I think maybe I'm dealing with this. And they're like, no, you're not. And I think doctors are open to having these conversations more and more. And for me, even thinking, okay, the primary issue is not necessarily the anxiety, it's the ADHD. And I don't know, for your audience members who maybe don't know a lot about it, it's executive dysfunction. So you're not able to organize tasks over time. Your brain's not good at that. You're not able to problem solve. You have working memory issues. So you may find yourself in your bedroom with a ladle and you're like, what? And so all of those things, it was very interesting to me. And now I can handle anxiety a lot differently. And now I know why I had so much trouble over the years taking my anxiety medication, because I'm not good at working memory. I'm not good at remembering to take pills. And so now that I understand the ADHD, I can put in support systems, scaffolding, routines that make taking that medication easier. And it's just a snowball effect. Everything gets easier when you tackle the executive dysfunction first. So I don't know. I'm turning this into a show about ADHD, but it trickles into everything. And even my doctor says the number one thing we're going to work on with you, Kirsten, is ADHD, because it affects everything.
Like, how has that helped you show up for your two kids in being able to have that experience, have self-advocated, and if they didn't have you to be able to help them and be open to going to the parental piece, like where would
yeah,
they
we
be
can talk
without
more
that,
about
right?
that for sure.
Yeah.
It really has helped me show up. I think about Casey, so my daughter, going to a new university,
Right. Huge.
brand new school,
Yeah.
massive, and we had a discussion about what would she think would be the best transition into school, and so she, with some support, was able to decide, okay, I think one big change at a time is going to be good for me, and that's definitely a trait of autism and ADHD. Transitioning from one thing to another can be huge, and so she made the decision, and with my support, to live at home and change her school first, and then second year she's going to change where she lives and start living on her own. So it's something that we're starting to prepare for, and how can she build systems in place to help her. But also it helps with anxiety. She does have anxiety that like rears its head quite a bit, and a lot of that is attending classes or doing things that she might be nervous about, or even she'll replay conversations in her head from last week, 5 years ago. And she has become so good at coming to me and saying, I need you to help me sort through this. And so we use sort of the strategies, and it sounds very prescriptive and formulaic, but it kind of is, because we use these phrases, and it's like cognitive behavioral therapy, to really help her challenge thought distortions, that she's anxious if she goes to school, everybody will be looking at her, so we can sort of challenge that sort of thing. But we also temper our days too. We don't fight all the battles, and if today is too big of a day to walk into the class, we're living in an age where she can see recordings of things or get notes or slides.
It's accessible.
And there's an accessible learning center too that helps her as well. So I would say that's one of the ways that I show up. But I would say I stumble a lot too, and I bet she's laughing right now. I say this. I misread her cues all the time, even though I understand what she's going through. And I just smacked the microphone.
That's okay.
She's been great about saying, Mom, this is how you reacted to this, and this is how I'm feeling about it, and it's not good. And so we're getting better and better at like compressing the timeline that she's sort of unraveled by it, and I feel horrible about it, because we don't have this perfect at all. We're trying for sure. Yeah.
And what would you say to a parent that's watching right now that is maybe navigating the similar waters as you?
Yeah, it can be exhausting. There have been days where I'm like, I'm not sure I can keep going. There's so much support I have to offer. But when I look back over the years, getting support from my own counselor, from the kids psychologist, making sure that we're medicated, having scaffolding in place, I cannot believe the improvement we've had. We have navigated the death of my kid's dad, and that could have unraveled the best of anybody. And I cannot believe how well my kids do through that. They planned a celebration of life. They spoke and performed music at it. We talk about their dad every day, and I don't think without all of those things we had in place that might have been possible. I don't know where we would be. So as a parent, it's worth investing that time and talking to professionals and trying to understand what you're all dealing with, and just build routines and systems into your day. And over time, it reaps big rewards. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I think only that I think my kids are incredible. And I would never wish this hardship on anybody. It can be hard when your brain doesn't function like a good chunk of society, but it has made them creative. My son is an incredible guitar player. My daughter is a riveting writer. And they both have such amazing emotional gifts. They can understand people, relate to people. They're now able to explain themselves and how they're feeling so well, and they're so articulate, and even doing brave things like coming to do something like this. And I think that's because their brains do function a little bit differently, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Even though it's been a lot of work, we are such a rich, tightly knit family who are empathetic and creative and have a lot to give, and we appreciate people. So I think that's all I would add is like putting the work in is so worth it.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. I really appreciate it.